Today we'll start with the Unit 1 and Chapter 1, that is the living worlds. So let's start the living world. Student, before starting the topic, we have to discuss that what are living. What are the main characters of living being? They are cellular organization, means made of cells. Next, they grow. Third one, they reproduce. And the fourth one is metabolism. And last one, consciousness. So these are the characteristic feature of a living being. Let's start with growth. Actually, an organism grow with the help of cell division. They can increase in mass, also increase in numbers as well. But non-living things also grow with accumulation of materials on surface, for example, mountains. Therefore, growth cannot be considered as the defining property of a living organism. So what's about reproduction? Living organisms reproduce the progeny similar to them. Reproduction may be asexual or sexual, but many organisms do not reproduce at all. Example, mules and some infertile human couple. Therefore, it cannot be considered as a defining property of a living being. Actually, in some unicellular organism like Amoeba and chlamydomonas, they multiply and increase in number. Here, it's very unclear whether it is growth or reproduction. So, growth and reproduction are just confusable over there. Okay? Now, third one is the metabolism. Actually, all living organisms are made up of chemicals called biomolecules, which are continuously changed into other molecule. The conversion reaction of these molecules are called metabolic reaction. Sum total of these chemical reaction is called metabolism. Actually, non-living thing shows no metabolism. Metabolism consists of first anabolism, that is constructive reactions, for example photosynthesis, and the second one is catabolism, that is destructive reaction, for example anaerobic respiration. No, aerobic respiration. Therefore, metabolism is considered as the defining characteristic of the living organism. Last one is the consciousness. Student, the living organism having the sense their surrounding through sense organ called consciousness. Plant also respond to light, water, temperature and pollutants. Consciousness is also considered the defining property of the living being. Actually, all living organisms are aware to its environment, but the human being is only species which aware about itself. Students, today's topic is biodiversity. Actually, this term often used to describe all the species living in a particular area. You can say that this is life on Earth. Keep in mind, we have identified and scientifically named about 1.7 to 1.8 million species on Earth. Biodiversity on Earth includes 950,000 species of insect, 270,000 species of plants, 19,000 species of fish, 10,500 species of reptiles and amphibians, 9,000 species of birds, and 4,000 species of mammals itself. Now, what is systemics? Actually, the term systemics, taxonomy, and biological classification are often used interchangeable. All are same thing. So, systematic is a study of biological diversity and its origin. Systematics is the study of biological diversity and its origin, like biological classification. So what is the need for classification, students? Actually, living organisms are classified into categories so that they could be named, remembered, studied, and understood well. So they are classified so that we can study them well. There are three major objectives of taxonomy. First, learning of all kinds of plants and animals. Second, assemblage of knowledge gained. Third, demonstration of biodiversity and its relation to man's understanding of evolution. These are the three major objectives of taxonomy. Now, I am going to discuss about one of the most prominent scientists, you can say philosopher, Aristotle. He is also known as the father of biology and father of zoology. He divided that time all animals into two groups. First, without blood, and second one, with red blood. Enaima and Anaima. Got it? Animal with blood and animals without red blood. The second most prominent philosopher at that time was Theophrastus. He is also known as the father of botany. He divided the plant kingdom. You know, botany is the study of plant. So he divided the plant kingdom primarily into trees, shrubs, undershrubs, and herbs. Today, I am going to discuss three main systems of classification. Number one, artificial system of classification. Second, natural system of classification. And third, phylogenetic classification. First one is artificial system of classification. It is based on easily observable a single or a few morphological characters such as habit, color, number, form, or similar features. Example, Linnaeus system of classification. Second, natural classification. It is based on overall similarities or affinities derived from morphology, that is physical appearance, anatomy, internal structure, embryology, phytochemistry, ultrastructure, and all other field of study. For example, Bentham and Hooker system of classification. And third one, phylogenetic classification. It is based on the evolutionary descent of a group of organisms. The relationship is depicted through a phylogenetic tree. For example, Engler and Prantl's classification. Some important books and their authors. Number 1, Philosophica Botanica, written by Carolus Linnaeus. Species Plantarum by Carolus Linnaeus. Systema Naturae, also by Carolus Linnaeus. Genera Plantarum, written by Bentham and Hooker. And Families of Flowering Plant, written by John Hutchinson. Now, what is nomenclature? It is a science of providing distinct and proper names to organisms so that they can easily be recognized and differentiated from others. It is done by using rules and recommendations of the codes prescribed by different scientific bodies. So what are those codes? Let's study those codes. Number 1, ICBN, International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. ICZN, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. ICNB, International Code of Nomenclature of Bacteria. ICNCP, International Code of Nomenclature for Cultivated Plants. And one more, ICTV, International Committee for the Taxonomy of Viruses. You will be amazed to know the types of name. Vernacular names. The names given to the organism in local language of that region is vernacular name. You can say local name. These names are invalid as they are not recognized universally. For example, Kandha is vernacular name of onion. Kandha in Bombay. Okay. Second type of names are scientific names. These names are given to the organism by biologists based on agreed principles and criteria for their acceptability all over the world. Example, Allium cepa is the scientific name of onion all over the world. And locally it is Kandha, Irulli, Dogri, Gantha, Pyaz, but scientifically Allium cepa. Now, binomial nomenclature. Swedish naturalist Carolus Linnaeus established binomial nomenclature. This nomenclature was used first in his book Species Plantarum in 1753. This is one of the most important type of nomenclature studied in biology. So there are some special rules. According to this system, name of any organism consists of two parts called epithets. That is, generic epithet and a specific epithet. For example, biological name of mango is Mangifera indica. So Mangifera is its genus called generic epithet and indica is its species called a specific epithet. Clear? Some more rules are: name should be in Greek or Latin language because this is that language and no modification will be there. Generic name begins with capital letter, capital M in Mangifera. Species name begins with a small letter and placed after generic name. For example, indica with small letter. The scientific name should be either underlined or italicized if printed. And name of authority should be written after the specific epithet in an abbreviated form. For example, Mangifera indica, Linn. Linn belongs to Linnaeus. Let's have some example of binomial names for some animals. Rana tigrina.